Hey y'all, good morning. It is a beautiful, breezy, cold Sunday here in Zone 9B. And today I went to film the last garden tour of the season. How exciting, or of the year, really. We're finally entering into our cold months here. It's supposed to get down to like 28 degrees next week. So it's gonna get really cold. Finally. I'm so happy about this cold weather. So today I'm just gonna, usual, show y'all around the garden and just talk about some changes that I plan to make next year, like some plans for next year. And yeah, let's get into it. So for not next year, but for next week, the papaya trees, they still look really good. They're still growing, but I'm gonna have to cover them, which is a problem because I'm gonna be out of town. So I'm gonna have to cover them like the entire time that I'm gone, which hopefully won't be a problem. This one here is has been struggling a little bit. I don't know why. It's the smallest of the four, but it's always been the smallest even when it was in its container. So hopefully it bounces back next year. I definitely have to cover them or else they are just simply not going to make it next week. I actually put down some, I don't know if you can see, some winter pea, I think it's called, winter peas in there. So I figured I would just like cover crop the base of the tree. I don't know, just why not? At least the peas will give something back. And I'm kind of trying to zoom out. So this bed right here, I don't know, you can kind of see it. It's like an L-shaped bed. And I was going to put my poppies in here, but as I was looking at the soil, the bed just didn't look very good to direct sow them. So I ended up putting down some tillage radish and I'm just going to cover crop this until next year. Probably in the spring I'll plant something here, but I'm just going to, lay the foundation in this bed for a better season in the future. And the tillage radish is really good for like compaction and kind of making the soil a little bit looser. The orange tree, you'll see that it's missing some oranges. So my grandparents came and visited me last week, and my grandpa was looking at the trees and he's like, these are ready to harvest, so you need to harvest them. And so we did, and they were so sweet and so good. And I'm glad that they came because I honestly would have just left them on the tree. So I'm gonna harvest that one. It's just so heavy. It's so heavy. And it's ready. So thank you, tree, for the oranges this year. And this bed looks more of the same. I don't know if I showed down in the last video, but this daga finally bloomed. It's still kind of got a little arch in it because of the wind knocking it over. But this bed, I just don't really know what I want to do with it. I'm thinking about just putting down some compost and maybe direct sowing some flowers in here. But honestly, just not sure. Yeah, with this bed, I'm just not really sure. I'm gonna have to see like what herbs I have. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta think about my 2023 garden plan and what that's gonna look like. I have to pick these marigolds because they just didn't stand a chance in the wind. My grandpa staked them when he was here and they've been okay, but I'm just gonna go ahead and pick these today and put them in the house before they die and just pull up the whole plant. You'll see today I just did like a workday video if you watched my video last week, but it looks like I'm gonna need one again just to kind of reset the garden before we leave on vacation next week. And so here, this bed, the marigolds are still coming in, looking really beautiful. This kale, we harvested some last week, so that's why it's not as big. This parsley is wild. My grandpa's a gardener like me, and so last week when they came, of course he was like outside and he like saw all the things that I had that I haven't harvested, and he was like just outraged. He was like, you have to harvest the things that you grow. And he's like, the more you cut, like the more that will come back, which of course is true, but I just hadn't gotten around to doing it. So he came through and he harvested a bunch of stuff from the garden and brought it inside. So that was really sweet. And I was really happy to have that experience with him. It was really fun. So he harvested all this parsley and it's definitely growing back. And so down here, you'll see we have some freaking devil's claw. It's cat's claw, but it's devil's claw. I'm gonna have to pull that out later. And then down here I have some motherwort. I planted my motherwort seedlings. I'm gonna go ahead and water those in. They seem to be doing okay. Hopefully they'll grow a little bit more before it freezes next week. The container garden area. So this, if you saw my last video, you saw me cut back this lantana. I went back and cut it more and it basically looks very not good right now. But I'm thinking about, because this area like collects water, it just collects water, so I'm thinking about digging it out and making like a rain garden with some Louisiana irises and some other native plants. I think that'll be a fun project. We'll see. And this rose bush, I want to put all my roses in the ground next year. It probably needs to be pruned, I don't know. But my friends got this for me for my birthday a couple of years ago, and I'm proud that it's still going strong. Definitely needs to be pruned. You can see like some residual rose hips on it, so that's cute. But yeah, it just looks ugly. And look, dun dun dun, this is my apple banana tree. I have been wanting an apple banana tree for so long. I first had the bananas in Hawaii and I fell in love with them because I don't really like bananas as they are, but these taste really sweet, kind of like just very tropical tasting maybe, I don't know, but they're delicious and I'm happy that I have one finally. Look, I'm gonna plant this one in my front yard. So the rest of the containers, I think this lemongrass is actually growing back, which is really interesting. I'm curious. Let me smell. It might just be weeds. No, that's lemongrass. It's growing back. Pawpaw tree is still not doing too much. Everything is just kind of doing its best to hang on. I'm hoping nothing dies in the freeze. The ginger is just, yeah. One piece already died. It looks like it just like rotted or something. I might take them out of the pot and just actually reuse this for something else. Lemon tree, we harvested lemons too. Yes, my grandpa came, he harvested the lemons and it was ready and it was so nice. I mean, I can't say that it was like, it tasted like a lemon. It was nice to have backyard lemons. My poor comfrey, it got waterlogged and it might die. So I came out and I was actually gonna water it, and then I saw that it was just full of water. So I think it got some kind of rot damage, but hopefully it bounces back. My little, excuse the cardboard all over the yard too, because I took it off of the bed that I cover cropped and I just never did anything with it. Of course, I just left it there. Looking really good. It's really growing in and it looks a lot better than it did before. I'm trying to find my little elder tree in here. I can't remember where it was. Is this it? Where's the echinacea that was in here? There's so many weeds. I need to weed this bed. Wow. Okay, I'll do this later, but I do want to find my elder tree. Is this it? I think this might be it. But like the echinacea that was next to it, I don't know where that is, and that was like my marker. I don't know. Where is it? I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think this is it. So if that's the case, it's filling out nicely. I cannot remember what I planted here. I think this is tick seed, the Coreopsis. I'm pretty sure, but it's getting really bushy. I've cut some of the fronds, or the, I cut some back yesterday to use for a flower bouquet, and it was really beautiful in there. My cover cropped mustard bed is still thriving and beautiful. I need to come cut these. Actually, I don't know that I care that they are going to seed. I think it's fine. I'm just gonna pop them off and like let it compost in place, kind of. So I don't know if I want them to like drop more seeds. Whatever, I'll do that later. As you can see, there's probably going to be another garden work day, like work in the garden with me video, because there's a lot to do. In this bed, yeah, still more of the same. I think the mullein might be doing better, but I just planted these lettuces in here. Lettuces, as far as I know, have a pretty short like root system, pretty shallow root system, so I'm hoping that they do okay here. But hopefully by next season or next year, the cardboard will have like done its thing and dissolved, and this bed will be a lot better to work in. The tomatoes are coming out. I have harvested all that I could harvest. I harvested the big ones, and it's just time. It's time for the tomatoes to go, all of them. So I really need to do like a whole reset. Kale, I've pulled some turnips up. These lettuces are coming in nicely. I'm so excited about them. I planted some onions. They aren't doing too much. Oops. And then I planted some plantain in this bed as well. But all my onions are pretty much like, here's one here also, and here's one here. I guess I should be happy that they're still kind of around, so that's nice. The cabbage is forming a head, like it's like pretty tight in there, so I'm really excited about that. Maybe I'll have one for the new year, for New Year's Day. Here's where my grandpa came in and chopped off my green onion. Oh, so my tatsoi, y'all should remember, it was over here. It was so beautiful, and look at it now. It's like it looks kind of like vine borer damage, like what I've seen with a squash vine borer, but I've never seen that. I don't know, do brassicas have a thing like that? But I just came out here one day and it was completely rotted, and yeah, it just looks disgusting, and I need to pull it out. Very sad and disappointing. Passion flower still looks good. These tomatoes, like I said, are coming out. I'm so happy to have more space. I'm also going to take this prize Troy out, and this, basically I'm going to take everything out of this bed except the calendula and the galangal. I don't know if you remember that being in there, but it is in fact in there right here. But I do want to show you these little tomatoes. I wasn't really impressed with the flavor, so I probably won't grow them again next year. It's crazy because I was sitting down to think about what I was going to plant next year, and I was like, well, I already have my tomato varieties that I want for next year, but I actually don't think I want to grow the ones that I have, so I don't know. The only ones that I have that I really liked were the black cherry, which I'll definitely be growing again, but it's kind of back to the drawing board because I didn't really enjoy the other ones that I grew. Now over here in this bed, I have my carrots. I have my first little pea pod, which is exciting. When I planted these, I didn't realize that they were like a bushing variety. Like they don't get very tall. Like they may get taller, but I thought they were gonna, grow up this trellis, which is why I planted them there. But they aren't. They're just kind of hanging on to each other, which is fine for now, I guess. But I really I wanted them to go up the trellis. And my carrots are coming in nicely. These like volunteer zinnias that I didn't pull up are cute. Got a little rogue lettuce in here. I don't know how that got in here because I didn't have lettuce in this bed last year, I don't think. carrots. Actually, they were all kind of planted in a clump, and so I took them all out. Ooh, another pea pod. Look. Oh. And so I put them all out, and they're still growing. And maybe we'll actually get some carrots this year. That'll be fun. It's like really great having this experience of like harvesting a lot of things for the first time. Like I've never really had like a super huge tomato harvest, or just actually harvesting things is really, really fun, and like experimenting, and just, yeah, I've never harvested oranges, and it's kind of like the surreal moment when you go to your tree and pick your oranges or your lemons, and you're like, wow, like this is really a thing. Like it's a very surreal but beautiful like experience for me. So I've really been enjoying reaping the fruit of the seeds that I've sown. All right, this bed here, I'm actually going to come through and harvest it. My grandpa yelled at me about this one too. He's like, you have a nice little mess of collards, you need to come pick them. So I'm actually going to pick them and probably cook some today, like just a little bit. You can see bug damage on here, like this little, oh sorry, braids are in the way, like this little critter right here. They're just, oh, they're so annoying. Just gonna take that off. Step nut. So I'm just gonna come through and harvest all these, and maybe move one of the plants like I said last time. I wanted to go to the blackberries too. So I haven't put the blackberries in the ground yet, and there's a reason for this, because I was going to buy the cinder blocks because I was going to do a cinder block bed over here, and I have also decided that I'm just going to plant them all 6 here. But cinder blocks have like gone up. I bought the cinder blocks for my other beds in January for $1.43 each, and I looked last week, I went to Lowe's with my friend, and they were $2.50, and that's just ridiculous to me. Like, so I'm still in denial about that, and I'm trying to think of like alternate ideas. Like maybe I'll build a wooden bed, which I don't know if it would necessarily be cheaper, but I'm just annoyed at, you know, they say yesterday's price is not today's price, and clearly. So I just don't feel, something about paying that much for a cinder block just don't sit right with my soul. So I don't know what that's gonna look like. I don't know about that. So last but not least, the seedling table. So I ordered some new little seed pots, and I'll show y'all those when I get them in, and also my seed starting setup, which is going to be inside when I come back from vacation. And I really wish that I could go through here and tell y'all what everything is, but I went on vacation the week of Thanksgiving, and anyway, it was just a lot. First of all, it was hard to keep the things in here, and then the covers on top. It was a lot, but long story short, the labels got mixed up, so I really have no idea what is growing where. Like, I know some things, like I know that this is spinach and these are leeks, and this is California poppy. I was able to go back and look at some video footage and find, you know, some things. I think this is the Portuguese kale. This is the sweet alyssum. These are mustards. I don't know what that is. These are the onions. I don't know what that is. I know that they're flowers. So with the cut flowers, I'm gonna end up, this is dill. I'm gonna end up starting some more because I can't remember what was what. I don't know. I know this is, excuse me, this looks like lettuce, like a lettuce thing, but I really don't know. I'm still gonna like try to, you know, save and plant things out, but I don't know. I do not know. So yeah, we'll see. The marshmallow are getting really big, so let's talk about plans. So I want to plant the marshmallow along the fence line here because it gets water, like a lot of water here, and I've heard that it, you know, they do really well in waterlogged soils. I want to plant a privacy hedge all the way, you know, along the back of my property, just like a long privacy hedge. I'm still trying to figure out what plants would do well there, but it'll probably be like a mix of different things just to, you know, keep the biodiversity rolling. And then over here I'm gonna build some trellis, privacy trellises, and I saw this thing on Homestead and Chill blog, which I'll link down below. She has some beautiful privacy trellises, and you can use, I'm gonna use a cattle panel probably, and they're like 8 feet, so I want them to be 8 feet high or 6 feet high, because 8 feet high, and I'm gonna put those along the fence. So that is one of my big things for next year. And also next year I really want to focus on my front yard landscaping. And so I have a really big front yard, and I really want to like turn that into something really beautiful. I think just regular grass lawns are really boring. They look nice, and if that's your thing, I think that's great. But for me, of course, I need to have lots of things going on. So I'm going to be thinking about that. So yeah, that's it. That's the tour there. It's been a really good season. Like I said, thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for sharing if you do those things. If not, maybe consider it. But yeah, this has been a really exciting project, and I'm excited to continue into the new year, and hopefully beyond that. I am excited about the changes that are going to come to the garden next year. I'm excited about getting chickens, about, you know, getting a greenhouse, all these things. So I don't know that all that will happen yet next year, but eventually. But anyways, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful new year if I don't see y'all again, and have a happy holiday season. Enjoy, spend time with your loved ones, and yeah, bye y'all.